it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in on this episode. We've got an interesting one here for you. This actually comes off of the North American official forums. A guy named Ianizor, pretty good player, ianizor1000. He's in his T-54, Tier 9 Russian medium tank. He's in a 510, so he's top tier, but only a 1 tier spread on this battle, and loaded into the Mountain Pass map. In the southeast, you can see that he's headed over to the west side of the map. And so he put this game out there on the forum and said, hey, what could I have done better? He ends up having a pretty darn good game, but it ends up being a loss. He was saying, all right, what could I have done to win this? And I've watched this a couple times and thought about this a little bit, and especially in light of the responses that he got on the forum. And there were a couple of them, not too many, but about 2. Because it was a pretty good player with a pretty good game, it tends to be very hard to kind of suss out exactly what he could have done or what he did wrong. Of course, we all do something wrong. Even on a great game, we can find things to critique. The question is, how important are they and how many of them are there? And ultimately, since the pillars of World of Tanks, basically how you win this game are positioning, hit point management, and reaction to the game. Those are the 3 big things. It becomes very important that you don't mess one of those big pillars up. And when you have a really good game, it's probably little things involved, like I took 1 too many hits, or 2 too many hits, or I missed a couple shots in there. So in light of all that, that's how I'm going to go ahead and look at this pretty darn good game in his T-54. You can see he's got 16 heat. That's quite a bit. Kind of not really an all heat loadout, but quite a bit. And 30 AP, 4 HE shells. Immediately you can see that they've lost one guy. This slag blaster turned around and drove right off the back of the map. So whether he went AFK or decided he was just going to suicide because he didn't like the setup, we'll never know, because he didn't mention anything. So we're going to take this off from here, and we'll talk about it as we go, with an eye towards when we get to the end of it, and it's a very close game. We'll kind of look at all the things that happened, how they stacked up, and how maybe he could have won this game. He's going to have a couple heartbreaking things happen as he goes through here. First thing he does is come across here, and I agree with this. He's going to go ahead and take a forward position, and this is basically what I do on this map, especially with a fast combat medium like this. So he's crossed that open area without being spotted, and now he's headed up. And this is going to be in a dangerous approach, because you'll get tanks right here, fast ones like scouts or other mediums, who can get there before you can really cross this open space he's about to open, and they may get shots on you if they have any kind of gun depression there. So it's critically important as you approach this. You're trying to get to this corner, but you want to minimize exposure to this area right here. It's easy to get shot here. Why? Because if you're not really thinking about it, you might not expect in as fast a tank as a T-54 to have somebody show up here, and that's exactly what we're going to have happen. Let me just address one other thing. One of the responses from the several people who responded to him via typing on the forum is he criticized his approach up here, or his positioning in this forward combat position, and the guy said, you know, that's why I don't go up here, because you lose hit points potentially. I sit back on this corner right here and let the battle develop. That is something that's up for debate. I disagree with that. I say you take your best tank and your best player, and I always consider me to be myself to be the best player on the team. Even if I arguably am not, I go to the place where the best player should be and make it happen. But sitting back here to me is a little bit more of a farming position, although I see the guy's point that you can husband your HP a little bit better back here. But this is a very passive spot to me. It requires the enemy over here to be very stupid and to give you all kinds of shots. Chances are they might do that because most players aren't very good. But if you sit back here and your team gets up here and attempts to fight, they all die, and then you're alone, you're screwed just as well. All right, so enough of that. We're going to go up here and we're going to talk about now his positioning is correct as far as I'm concerned, but I think his maneuver to get up here is just a little bit bad. So he comes around this corner, and immediately for me what I will do is I will head up this way, because I want to cover up with as much of this cover against anyone who's going to show up right here. He takes a hit. The other thing you'll notice that he did as he was coming is he turned his camera like that to look at those 2 guys, which he was never going to get a shot on. And I don't think he intended to get a shot. He was just gathering SA as he went, but he was just a little bit late coming back to see that guy pop up right there. So now we're down 290 hit points right off the bat. Had he cut hard right here, I don't know. He may have still taken a hit, but we're talking about a game that is going to be fought in the margins, and right now we're down 290 hit points, and it was potentially possible. Ooh, holy cow. Potentially possible had he taken a line up this way that he would have avoided being hit by that T-49 flinging heat. So he dives on in here, and he's got quite a crowd coming up. He's going to come up and take a look. He's got to know that T-49 is reloaded, takes a peek, and back he goes. Now, I didn't like that peek very much because he was definitely spotted coming on in here, and whatever was there, and it looks like the T-55A was waiting for him, and had he come out just a little bit too far, he'd have been popped. So this is where we get into some of the other responses to him about where he was giving up hit points in bad trades on occasion. And we all do this, but we want to look at these games with an eye towards not doing it as much as possible. Now, the other thing about how you did this right here is how he did this right here is be very careful about going out before you're reloaded, because had that T-49 come up just a few seconds earlier, a few potatoes earlier, he may have got a shot before you reloaded. Waiting, and bam, there's another heat shot. So probably another shot I could have avoided. But let's split the difference and say I could have avoided one of those. So 290 hit points I didn't need to give up. And now he is being aggressive in here. He's got quite a bit of backup, but they've also got a considerable force right here. So not a lot of opportunity to be offensive. He's going to have to continue to work and look for shots where he can take them. Got the low cruising around here. This is a nice job coming up. I think it's, that's just bad luck right there. It was going to be a very low percentage shot anyway, and he moves in here and sees if he can do it again. And right into that flat part of the turret. On the second attempt, he gets it. The T-55A is poking. That's a good poke, all right? That was a good poke. Why? Because the P Victoria wasn't really in position. The 55A came out and shot and was backing up, and he had very little chance of taking any return shots from anything that he saw right then. So that is a good trade right there, and good timing on the trade as well. Looking to just take a little piece off of that guy, another good shot. So showing really great awareness in a lot of the shots here on weak spots and placement. Now he's flinging heat, which is going to negate a bunch of the armor on some of these tanks. You'll notice that he's going to go through the turret of the low by catching it on the side right there. More than likely his AP round isn't going to go through that. Be careful here. You don't want to poke on a loaded T-55A, and only got lucky because the 55A lost. So again, that was probably a bad time to poke. The 55A was in and locked in and waiting and came around. That's probably one of the worst ones right there. Down another 353. Fortunately, the guy low rolled you just a little bit. You had to know there was another guy sitting back there. It looks like you were looking to find him, but man, you came out and just let a guy zoomed in, blapping the side. In addition to that, well over angled right there, so we got right into the front portion of your tank right there. So that's 353 hit points you didn't need to lose. Now you'll notice there's a Tiger 2 over at about E3. He's got some guys back there dealing with it. We'll kind of watch what this Tiger 2 does. We'll talk about reaction to the battle. So initial positioning, good. Some issues with trading. Maybe waited just a tad too long right there. Also a kind of lucky shot as well for the T-55A. But you did expose yourself to the lucky shot. So you sat there and waited. He came out. Probably made the calculation on your part saying, all right, his probability of hitting me is probably pretty low. So I think I can make this happen. But guess what? He ended up getting a piece of you. So down to 425, a one shot to quite a few of these guys, either high rolls or things like the T-10, who will be able to kind of take you out pretty much easily. High roll on him as well, but you're near that one shot territory. That was unlucky. Didn't quite get into his lower plate right there. Just a little bit of a gunnery issue. Now I said watch the Tiger 2, and there he goes. Now this is interesting right here because it's a reaction part of the game. His team is a little rough over here. He's got an IS-6, two IS-6s, and they're basically both one-shots. He's got an RHM sitting back behind the rocks back there, a T-34 hold down on the K line, and the Lorraine is up on top messing around with this Tiger 2 trying to kill him. The Lorraine has just fired once or twice. Tiger 2 is running for these rocks that are sitting down here, / trying to get tucked up under here so this Lorraine hanging off the side can't kill him. And it ends up that the Lorraine doesn't have enough juice to take that guy out right there. So let's watch this develop for a second. There goes the Tiger 2. The RHM now feels like he's got to react to the Tiger 2. So you've got a bit of a problem back in your backyard right there, essentially. Now, this is actually a nice shot. Nicely done right there. The placement on that was pretty much perfect. So we just took that guy down. There's this dude. He's trying to get up. He comes over. We take this guy down. Fantastic. Now we just killed 2. We still got the Lorraine. The Lorraine is reloading, but we got this Tiger 2 who now starts futzing around with our IHMB right there. Potentially here on the reaction aspect of the game, come back up to here and try to help take out this Tiger 2. Once we clear the Tiger 2 out, then I get my RHM back into the fight, and he's killing guys that are dumb and coming around here. The danger of that, obviously, is if they notice you doing that, they may push your IS-6, accept a shot from the T-34, and kill them off. But most of them are a one-shot or close to it, so I don't think they're going to be too interested in giving that T-34 a shot. So I think you probably had an opportunity in there to react to the Tiger 2 and take him out. Like I said, that relieves the RHM to come back and help you. The RHM ends up losing some hit points to the Tiger 2. He does kill it, but he takes another hit from the guy. I agree with that. No sense popping out, and that's why you're not doing it over there. Pretty soon you're going to tell the Lorraine, hey dude, we need your hit points, and that's absolutely true. The Lorraine is clipping out and reloading, but he's doing a pretty bad job. I watched this a couple times, and I watched what he was doing. He just was not really aiming his shots, kind of taking snaps as fast as he could. There goes the Tiger 2, but the RHM's down to pretty low hit points, and I think finally, there you go. The RHM is going to reload and come back down and finally come help you. So big trouble up in the north. Looks like you're pretty far behind on hit points. You just got the low and the RHM right there, and then the 3 of you. Here comes the RHM finally over to help you. I was kind of surprised the low didn't get pushed and wiped out right there, but he lasts for a bit. And you probably have guys pushing up on your cap. So it's time. You've got to make something happen here, and I believe you realize that because you asked the Lorraine here, we need your hit points, which I think has already happened. Here comes Lorraine. Nice shot right there. Guy was unaware. Turret not looking at you, and the Lorraine takes a shot. So here goes the Lorraine. He's going in, and you kind of sit there, which I assume what you're thinking is if they try to push the Lorraine, I'll go ahead and hit them in the back. But he's making a move, and if you're going to take these guys down quickly, it's time to support that move. So I understand what you're thinking and doing here, but there you finally started moving. But already, you probably could have been up there taking a shot. Here comes the T-10. Very lucky, ends up getting into the track of the 40T. This is a little bit tricky as far as getting your gun onto the guy. And holy, oh man, just survived it at 376. Come around here, another heat shot. Come on, Lorraine, make it happen. Oh, don't ram him, don't ram him. Oh, wow, that was close. I'm not sure if you intended to ram him, but that would not have gone well for you. I think you would have taken you out right there. All right, so clearly some hits that we didn't need to take would have left us with some more hit points right here. Somebody does mention in the responses on the forum that you're lucky nobody shot you with HE. You do end up bouncing a shot or two in here, and that's absolutely true. If they'd have taken a shot with HE, you'd have been out of the game, especially considering some of the guns like the Scorpion and the JT and the Sturf. Even that T-34B. He ends up taking down your 34B. You do a good job approaching. This is really like, man, we're trying to glove save this fight right now. If I don't get in here real quick and get a shot, this thing is over. So you've had some luck in here. You're about to get a little bit more because you're going to cross right across the open here and end up getting missed. Whether they were shooting at you or your buddy, I don't know. That one looks like it was at you. You're going to come around here. You just stop in the open a little too much. I'd have stopped much sooner than that, but nice job getting that shot off. And now we're going to use this piece of terrain to our advantage. This is where the whole discussion about HE. Problem with that shot is it was just not aimed enough. You really needed that shot to go in there. I understand the snapshot thing. So maybe come out and try to bait the shot and then come back in, zoom in like you just did there and take that nice aimed shot. Unbelievable. A Sturb is just going to disappear right there. Jeez Louise. Alright, so the other thing about when you have a tight game like this is little small critical mistakes. You should have been on HE immediately. As soon as you notice that guy had 3 hit points, that shot should have been the HE shot. That clears that guy out and it gives you a little bit of breathing room on the cap, and maybe you can get turned around and take on this 40T over there. So now we're still messing around. You've bounced a couple from the Sturv. Again, lucky with the HE, but what do you do with the luck? It's not so much that you got lucky, it's what you do with that luck. Somebody says HE, whether you thought about it or you were watching what they said, good on you. Now we find out, yeah. Would have been tempting to go after the JT, but nice job remembering it's the Sturb that's sitting there. Whoa! And just very lucky on a couple of those, but still, you got an HE round. There you go, now we're aimed. There's those 3 hit points. We got rid of that guy. And we're at 40 seconds. Alright, so we're at 40 seconds. We got the T-54 there. 40 seconds. Is that enough to go back and get the Lorraine? Well, it might be, especially with that 34 sitting there. I realize you're worried about this being basically your fight right here, and these two are just supporting cast members, but you might have had a chance. Might have had a chance. I think what you did, though, here is a right idea. You've got that HE. You're going to try to put one into the track, and that was great because that actually damaged them, and now we're completely reset. And from here, it's turnaround time. There you go. Let's go get this Lorraine. Absolutely the right answer. There goes the T-34, and ooh, there's that guy. There's that guy. I think I would have taken him on first before I went and pushed the Lorraine. I don't think you may have noticed him until a little late. There's the Lorraine. And it's possible had you turned on the Scorpion, the Lorraine would have shot you right there. So, bad situation all around. You pushing him. I don't know if you knew he was on a reload or if you just figured, hey, I want to get around this corner and try to minimize the ability of that Scorpion to hit me, but that was a good play. Use that carcass as cover. Man, you got lucky again on the miss, but you did miss. And there you go. So, nice job. 6 kills on that. So maybe a little quicker on the HE on the Sturv, and then an HE into the JT. And you might have had a little bit more wiggle room right there to deal with these guys. And this is where the heartbreak part comes in. You got the JT there. You're out of heat. We'll talk about that in just a second. Looking to try to track this guy. There you go. Back to 139. And you've got this Lorraine here, and you're thinking, all right, so we can deal with this. Let me just we get one of us to go the other way. So you tell the Lorraine to go cap. That's a good idea. You're out of HE. You only got AP. Like I said, we'll talk about the heat in just a second. There goes the Lorraine. Off he goes, and I'm thinking, okay, why is he going that way? Surely he's not planning on doing what I think he's planning on doing. But watch him go, folks. Not the best idea. I'm thinking, God, he's going to have to go all the way back to the cap and then turn around. He doesn't have a... No, 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 Lorraine, no. Don't, Lorraine, don't do it. Lorraine, don't do it. Don't. Lorraine, please don't. Oh, boy. So, the Lorraine tries to go off instead of going all the way back here and then screaming across, which he may have had a shot at him, but I don't know. Probably that was just terrible. And if he didn't think he could cross here, then he might as well have just gone all the way. But holy cow, you're going to lose hit points going off that ledge right there. Terrible F. This then gets us to the heat discussion. One of the things that ianizor said, well, should I have just had a heat? Well, you can carry a full heat load out if you want to. And unfortunately, if you'd had a full heat load out here, you'd have buttered through his upper plate, provided you could avoid his HE or just getting penned by that big gun right there. And that definitely would have been a factor towards the end of the battle here. But you probably could have been here with a lot more hit points, which might have given you a few more options. Unfortunately, I don't think from this range you would have been able to bait a shot and charge him without taking probably 2 hits by the time you got in on him. So I don't know if you'd have been able to manage to have that many hit points coming in there, but you never know. If you'd have saved a bunch of the hits that you took right there. Back to the heat thing, it's unfortunate that the game is like that, where had you just had 4 or 5 heat rounds, you'd just buttered through a highly armored TD, hold down behind a dead wreck back there. You know, it would have won the game, but it's just too bad that's kind of how the game goes. You didn't really have any weak spots, though, to go after him with just your AP right there. I think you actually pen him once in here somewhere. Let's see this go. Get this going back here. Yeah, and you were like, what on earth, Lorraine? Really just porked that away big time. Another shot through there. Apparently my tank can't use its tracks. Well, I mean, when you drop off of a multi-ton vehicle off of a cliff, then yeah, your tracks are probably not going to matter a whole bunch. Looking for a shot in there. No, can't get there. And really, you're just looking for a prayer. You need some kind of really super high pen roll to get in on there. I'm not going to do the math. I don't even know if it's possible. I'm assuming it is. So we're going to head back this way. He probably saw you turn. So what I would be careful with there is I'd have disappeared for a while before I started turning. I just backed up and sat there until you know you were dark, and then spin your tank around and go. That way he's not really expecting this kind of thing. He probably saw you turn around and start maneuvering like this. Whoa! Then we're just out in the open. I think you're just trying to look for that good aim shot, but oh man, just a little too long out there, aren't you? Whoa! Alright, you didn't get the shot. That's fine. That's just out in the open, so you're going to get nailed with HE. So he finally figured out he needed to shoot you with HE, and he ended up getting you. So it was a good game, man. 6 kills, 5,626. The Sturv driving off and putting you one tank down in the beginning didn't help. The way the Lorraine played did not help. But I think as far as initial positioning was a good idea. You gave up, as is noted on the forum several times, too many hit points here and there, kind of nickeled and dimed yourself, and you really had bad luck with the Lorraine. Realize you had a lot of good luck with misses and bounces and stuff in between all of that. But like I said, it's what you do with your luck. It's not that you got it, it's what you did with it. And you did a pretty good job with it up to the very end, where you just couldn't quite take down this JT. Had the Lorraine stayed alive and gone around, well, that's an easy one. I think you guys could have handled it easily. I really would have liked to have seen him get back here, cross around here, and then come around the fast way. Once you get the Lorraine on this side and you on this side, this dude's done. It's all over. All right, man. Well, I hope this helped. I'm not saying any of those things would be 100% effective in making you win that game, but with the eye towards critiquing everything that happens in there to kind of a perfect solution, I think there were definitely some things you could have done better there. There were a lot of things you did really well in there as well. And that's pretty much it for this Tactics Talk. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. I appreciate it. As always, support the channel, and we will see you.